In March 2007, melamine hidden in imported wheat gluten killed thousands of pets, and it revealed that the brand on the bag often had nothing to do with who actually made the food. Today, 3 conglomerates control most pet food on shelves, and only 8 independent brands still pass every trust test that crisis created. What separates them comes down to 3 things most owners never check. On March 16, 2007, the FDA announced a sweeping recall that stunned pet owners across North America. Tests had uncovered melamine, a cheap industrial chemical, lurking in wheat gluten imported from China and used in dozens of brands' wet dog and cat foods. The ingredient, meant to boost protein readings on laboratory tests, had slipped through the supply chain with no one the wiser. Within days, veterinary clinics began reporting a surge of pets suffering acute kidney failure. Necropsies revealed crystals clogging the kidneys, a hallmark of melamine toxicity. The official death toll stood at 14 confirmed cases, but hundreds more animals showed signs of illness. What made the crisis so alarming was not just the number of animals affected. It was the realization that the companies on the bag often had no direct control over the ingredients, or even the factories making their food. Menu Foods, the private label manufacturer at the heart of the recall, sourced its wheat gluten from Chemnutra, a U.S. importer buying from Chinese suppliers. The contamination was not discovered until after the food had already reached store shelves. As the recall widened, eventually covering over 60 million cans and pouches, regulators scrambled to trace every shipment. The FDA's authority to compel a recall was limited, relying on voluntary compliance from manufacturers. Many pet owners learned for the first time that ingredient transparency and supply chain control were not guaranteed. The 2007 recall shattered the illusion of safety, exposing the hidden risks of global sourcing and contract manufacturing. It forced regulators and consumers alike to question how trust could be rebuilt, and what real oversight should look like in an industry where lives are at stake. Trust in pet food doesn't come from clever marketing or celebrity endorsements. It comes down to 3 concrete tests, each one rooted in the hard lessons of the 2007 recall. The first test is ingredient sourcing. Brands that pass this test don't just claim to use quality ingredients. They can name the farms, fisheries, or ranches where their proteins and produce originate. Domestic or tightly regional sourcing means a brand can trace every shipment, limiting the risk of adulteration or contamination from overseas suppliers. If a company can't tell you where its chicken or wheat comes from, that is a red flag. The second test is manufacturing control. The most trustworthy brands don't outsource production to anonymous factories. Instead, they own and operate their own kitchens or processing plants. This ownership gives them direct oversight of every batch, from raw ingredient intake to packaging. When a brand controls its own facility, it is accountable for safety and quality at every step. In contrast, contract manufacturing often means less transparency and more room for error, exactly the gap that allowed contaminated wheat gluten to slip through in 2007. The third test is traceability and transparency. Reliable brands print batch or lot codes on every package and maintain public records or lookup tools that let consumers verify when and where a product was made. Some go further, offering certifications like USDA organic or human-grade status, or publishing third-party audit reports. A brand that welcomes scrutiny by regulators, veterinarians, or consumers signals confidence in its process and product. Together, these 3 tests form a clear, repeatable checklist for anyone who wants to choose a pet food that stands up to real-world scrutiny. Only brands that pass all 3 are worth considering for a buy-it-for-life approach. Champion Pet Foods built its foundation on direct ownership and control. Established in Alberta in 1985, it remains a private, family-run company, unusual in today's pet food industry. Champion's Dog Star and North Star Kitchens, located in Kentucky and Alberta, produce only origin and Acana recipes. These are not contract facilities. Every ingredient, from wild-caught fish to free-range chicken, comes from North American suppliers listed by name on the company's website. Batch codes on each bag allow buyers to trace production runs. Origin faced a limited recall in Australia, but Acana has never been recalled in North America. This model, owning the plant, controlling recipes, and tracing sources, sets a standard for supply chain accountability. Fromm Family Foods, with roots in Wisconsin since 1904, takes a quieter but equally firm approach. Now in its fifth generation of family ownership, Fromm produces every bag and can at its own FDA-registered plant, never outsourcing. Ingredients come from United States farms, often within the Midwest, and are prepared in controlled batches. Over more than a century, Fromm has avoided any FDA recall, a rare achievement. The company's transparency is understated, grounded in independent stewardship, and a long record of consistency rather than marketing claims. Answers Pet Food, founded in Pennsylvania in 2009, positions itself as radically transparent, but faces a challenge common to smaller brands: gaps in public data. The company uses grass-fed meats and raw fermented goat milk sourced within 150 miles of its plant. All production is handled in-house, and Answers rejects high-pressure pasteurization in favor of low-intervention methods. Partner farms are listed online, and the brand offers a USDA-certified organic dairy ingredient. There have been no recalls, but third-party audits and certifications are not always available to the public. This lack of external verification does not indicate failure, but it does place more responsibility on the brand's own reporting, an important factor for those seeking independent assurance. Stella & Chewy's, founded in Missouri in 2003, is known for raw and minimally processed diets. The company produces freeze-dried and raw foods at its USDA-registered facility, sourcing meats from domestic farms that meet strict antibiotic-free and hormone-free standards. Stella & Chewy's has never faced an FDA recall. In 2018, the FDA cleared its freeze-dried raw formulas during an investigation into grain-free diets. The brand's focus on single-source proteins, transparent sourcing, and in-house manufacturing marks it as a leader in safety and innovation. These four brands show distinct paths to trust: Champion through plant ownership, Fromm through family governance, Answers through local sourcing and raw processing, Stella & Chewy's through raw innovation and regulatory clearance. Each illustrates what it means to meet the first two tests of trust in pet food: ingredient traceability and direct manufacturing control, while revealing the range of transparency even among industry leaders. Primal Pet Foods built its reputation on ingredient integrity, sourcing only antibiotic-free and hormone-free meats from USDA-inspected facilities across the United States. Every bag is stamped with a unique lot code, linking each product to its specific batch and origin. Production happens in Primal's own St. Louis facility, allowing direct oversight from sourcing to packaging. The company's recall record remains unblemished, and its participation in the Pet Food Institute's Supply Chain Transparency Program signals a rare level of accountability. For those seeking a direct connection to the source of their dog's food, Primal stands out for its traceability and commitment to clean sourcing. Open Farm, founded in Toronto in 2014, redefined traceability in the pet food industry. Its lot code lookup tool lets customers trace every ingredient back to the farm or fishery of origin, a first in the sector. Open Farm's public supplier registry lists every source by name and certification, while meats are sourced exclusively from humanely raised, certified organic North American farms. Finished products are made in a USDA-certified facility under strict GMP standards. With a spotless recall record and third-party audits, including SQF Level 3 certification recognized by GFSI, Open Farm offers a verifiable path from farm to bowl. For those who want proof, not just promises, Open Farm's traceability system sets a new benchmark. ZiwiPeak, based in New Zealand since 2004, focuses on single origin safety. All meats and seafood come from free-range New Zealand farms, untouched by major animal diseases for over a century. Ziwi's air drying process preserves nutrients naturally, eliminating the need for artificial preservatives. Each bag carries a batch number, allowing customers to confirm production details and ingredient origins. Manufacturing is fully in-house at Ziwi's Christchurch facility, with certifications from the New Zealand Food Safety Authority and the Global Food Safety Initiative. The brand's recall history is clean, and its export records show compliance with some of the world's strictest food safety standards. At the summit stands the Honest Kitchen. Founded in San Diego in 2002, it became the first U.S. brand to earn FDA human-grade certification for pet food in 2013. a distinction held by less than 1% of the market. Every ingredient is human-grade, sourced from USDA-approved farms, and processed in a facility that meets human food standards. Each package carries a traceable lot code, and the recall record is flawless. With third-party audits and USDA organic lines for select formulas, the Honest Kitchen sets the highest bar for safety, traceability, and regulatory oversight. Today, nearly 90% of pet food sales come from just 3 conglomerates. For owners who value traceability, independent control, and transparent sourcing, true trust demands vigilance, not just loyalty. In a market shaped by past failures, your choice remains the most powerful safeguard. Let me know your thoughts below.